Tonight on Radio Horror's YouTube channel, after flying from the movie theater, literally just saw the thing for Evil Dead Rise, the next chapter of the franchise that puts out a film every 10 years or TV show. It's been a while since we've had some Evil Dead stuff, unless you count last year's video game, which Bruce Campbell was a huge part of, and there is Evil Dead Rise content coming to the video game, so I'm assuming that is going to be our survivor characters, because they have added Maya from the Evil Dead remake to that game as well. So lots of cool Evil Dead stuff. This movie's been talked about for 3 years. I was at the drive-in in 2020. This is the only way to go to see a new movie in theaters. And Bruce Campbell introduced Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 back to back. And him and Sam Raimi, because Sam Raimi was there too, said that Evil Dead Rise is coming. So they've been talking about it for 3 years. And here it is finally. And they're all producers on this new Evil Dead movie, which is just like the originals, but something new and something different. What's that?
Mom's Linguini.
Is that what they were giving away at the theater?
No, this is what I got from the press for the press screening.
Oh, we had that poster and like 50 Fandango codes to give away.
Yeah, and we got little mini cheese graters.
The last Evil Dead movie, they sent me 1,000 t-shirts like 10 years ago, which it has actually been 10 years. It's been a decade. 10 years since the Evil Dead remake came out, which was also done by Rob and Bruce and Sam. And I'll be happy to finally be able a chance to meet Sam Raimi coming up in a few months, so that will be fantastic. And we're going to talk about Evil Dead Rise. Rise.
Is that me?
Yes, that's why I said we're going to talk about Evil Dead Rise.
Yes. So I'm going to introduce this now. Directed and written by Lee Cronin, and brought to you by New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers. So yay, Warner Brothers released a movie and didn't, automatically put it on streaming or just completely scrap it, which personally I am very happy that they did. It stars Lily Sullivan as Beth, Alyssa Sutherland as Ellie, Morgan Davis as Danny, Gabrielle Eccles as Bridget, and Nell Fisher as Cassie. I will say that the film had me locked by the time the title card came up. And while that may not be much for some people, I thought that title was just gorgeous. I mean, it immediately sucks the audience into the film. It has that nostalgia factor to it from the beginning, where you're set in the woods. Then it goes to the city. I'm not going to give away spoilers right away. I will do some things that I thought were sort of that had some mistakes. This wasn't a perfect film. It had like 3 mistakes to it. But yeah, this is one that honestly, it freaking slaps. Like, this is the film to see. This is the film to see this weekend. I would say this is my top horror film of the year. From the get-go, you are invested in the characters. Anyone who sees horror movies as much, as Chris and I do, you have characters that you just don't like. It's like, great, let's kill them off right away. I cannot wait. With this film, at least for me, I liked these people. I wanted to know what was going on in their lives. And that's rare. I think that has to do with the writing that that Cronin did. I think it has to do with the performances by all the leads. Alyssa Sutherland, who plays Ellie, she's a mom of 3. She's on the struggle bus. Her husband just left. She's going paycheck to paycheck with 3 kids, and apparently her apartment building is going to be torn down within a month, which love the fact that for a family that's on the struggle bus and whatnot, I love it when they have these apartments that are huge. this is I mean, I think this is set in LA. I'm not sure. It seems like it kind of, but my God, that place is like all I could think of. It's like, I love the bathroom. I want to, redecorate and do this and that, which again, kudos to Lee Cronin and everyone involved with this. With her sister Beth, played by Lily Sullivan. They have, awkward reunion.
It is LA, by the way.
Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. And that's, different for an Evil Dead film, because I think this is one of the first ones where it's like actually set in, the city. Usually it's the woods, and we all know what happens with the woods with some of those trees.
Or the TV series, it was a hick town, which was a backlot in Vancouver in Australia, or New Zealand, excuse me.
Yeah, but with this, you have Ellie and Beth. They reunite. They're talking about the struggles that they're having. I thought that was very authentic. Anyone who has a sibling, it's one of those things like they didn't overact. It was very subtle and it was very real. And again, kudos to everyone involved. There's an earthquake. The kids go get pizza. They come home. 5.5 earthquake. There's a hole in the garage. They find Danny finds the Book of the Dead, and like a teenager, even though it is very, very obvious. Like, I recently watched The Man with Two Brains, and it reminded me of that. Like, when it's like, if there's something that you feel isn't right, just let me know. And his dead wife is like, no, no, no. I mean, the Book of the Dead is pretty much like, it's screaming, do not touch this, do not touch it, do not go near it. And what does the kid do? They grab it, they take it home. This could be worth something. We could sell it. Where are you gonna sell this? I mean,
you could buy the Necronomicon at any Barnes and Noble. I mean,
it used to be at Borders. I wish I would have bought it when I had.
Hold on. Right
but
here.
that's you got
right
it
here. Look at that. I got my copy right here. It's $7.99, and I would still love to know who wrote this. The thing that they stick in bookstores. I've never researched who the author of this is. Yes, it's some mad priest, whatever. It's H.P. Lovecraft. But no, who, like you or me, Katie, or these actors or anyone on the street, who is the person that got commissioned to actually write this damn thing? Because this is a nonsense funny book. If you could buy this for $7.99, it's bullshit.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I mean, the whole world's going to hell. But that's, I mean, what happens? The teenager, does this stuff. Somebody gets possessed. Mayhem ensues, and from start to finish, I think this is just a solid. It's not only a solid franchise film, entry in a franchise, it's just a solid horror film,
and it's by itself too.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a standalone. You don't need to see the other four to understand what this is. And kudos again to Lee Cronin. If they did if they did a sequel to this, I mean, I don't think you need to, but I think you could expand on some of these characters, whoever's left and whatnot. But
yeah, what if they brought Maya in and she hooks up with the survivors to be like, oh yeah, that happened to me, lost a hand.
I know. I mean, it could happen. And I mean, it's got plenty of blood. The practical effects are fantastic. I think the two highlights to me, Alyssa Sutherland as Ellie. She is a mother of a villain. Like, I mean, her facial expressions. I mean, and it's not much. It's not that, yes, she has contacts in and all that stuff, but this is her performance. This is all about her. Like, there are things that it's not the CGI. It's not this. It's not the practice. It's like, this is her and everything that she puts into this character. And kudos to her, because I think right now with this performance, she has like almost solidified herself as a horror villain that could go on. Well, I don't want to say, to different things. The nods, or I don't even know it's nods. It's more of like a tip of the hat to a number of different horror films in here. The Thing, Dead Alive, The Shining, Poltergeist. I mean, obviously the other Evil Dead films, it's not, again, they're not shoving it in your face, but it's definitely like, oh, you know what? That's kind of, I think that may be a little bit of a reference to that with sort of, it's like, this is someone who loves horror, who loves this genre with a passion. And at least that's what I get from watching this film. I've watched it 3 times in theaters. I love to see it with a crowd, the energy, the shocks, the screams, the gasps. I mean, it just is fantastic. It also has let me see the mistakes that it's kind of made and whatnot, because it's like, oh wait, yeah, how did that happen? And something I noticed like from the very beginning. But Alyssa Sutherland, absolutely amazing. Alyssa Sutherland, and then Lily Sullivan, who plays Beth, freaking kicks ass. She is incredible. Nell Fisher, who plays Cassie, who's little girl. Usually that is a hard, sell for me with like someone under 10 in a film like this. Killed it. I thought she was great. I thought they had humor in the film without being campy and like, coming out of nowhere with like little gag lines. I thought that it's scary. One thing, look, this is hyped up a lot. I think a little bit too much, but at the same time, that's fine. I think if there was anything, this could have been really more grotesque when they do use the cheese grater. I
Kind of like
think
in the remake where the girl takes out the box cutter right through her tongue.
yeah,
I think that was Maya too, right? Isn't that the heroine?
yeah.
By the
No,
way, also,
that's
did you notice in this Evil Dead movie, there is, I think this is a restraint, or maybe it's in a deleted scene, but my date pointed this out to me. There are no, as far as I can remember, sexual assaults in this Evil Dead movie, and all the other 4 Evil Dead movies have some kind of sexual assault.
yeah, I noticed. I was very happy with that. I thought they were going to do something with the elevator. They didn't. Thank you. Thank you. We don't. It's not
That's
necessary.
where I wonder if the deleted scene is.
It's because I mean that the elevator part that actually reminded me of a film that we talked about earlier, The Entity. There's a little bit of it, with the slap and sort of the groans and stuff, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's a little bit of that too. But again, it's not shoving it down the audience's face. It's not the we're making sure this is this film. It's like, I I don't know. I think they did it. I think they did this film in a very, very way. And for people who loved films, I think that each of the characters were great. I mean, the main family, the neighbors, the people at the beginning. I just think it was great. It was great casting, and you didn't need like all these like convoluted backstories with everybody. I think what they gave us was very like upfront. I got it. You nailed your character. And yeah, practical effects, digital effects, casting, the everything about the set and everything like that, I thought was great. I think that when it gets to a point that you're really tugging on those relationships, if this was real life, I mean, those people are not going to.
Yeah, don't get too attached to anyone in this movie, and that's not a spoiler. That's just like going into the Evil Dead remake. You never knew who was going to be surviving that film. And this one, I mean, other than the mom who's all in the trailers, obviously, getting possessed, you do not get spoiled in trailers or commercials about who is going to bite it. I'm just saying, do not get attached to anybody, because it's quite shocking. Best 5 callbacks to the original movie.
You what?
I said, you caught all 5 callbacks to the original movie, which aren't really spoilers. The chainsaw, the shotgun, you'll be dead by dawn, will swallow your soul, and a little eye popping.
Well, there's that, and there's also the like going through the woods.
Yeah, that was
stuff.
That was a little fun cheese.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's the Evil Dead. That's what it's all about.
Right, but the way they reveal what it is that's in the woods, the camera moving is, I thought was okay, a little clever.
I liked it. I thought it was great. I will say now, here are the these are spoilers because they're aired in the film. So spoilers, 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 spoilers. I don't know how far we are into this, but spoilers. So
Are we
one,
revealing who lives?
no,
Okay.
no. There are records that are played in the movie. And they have an order where it's like the first record has a priest who's like speaking to these clergy, you know, that they want to do an experiment on the Book of the Dead and all that stuff. So that's the first record that we're supposed to listen to. And they kind of do it in an order where they show like 1, 2, 3. Here's the issue with that. And if anyone says it's like, well, no, that was supposed to be the first, like I said, the first record is this priest who's like, you know, talking about, you know, doing these experiments on the book and wants to make sure and on all these different priests and you know, people of the church like, no, all that stuff. So the date on that is November 13th, 1923. The problem is that the second record, which then says, and this is, you know, I've solidified this because I made sure to write down the dates. The second record is the same priest, but he's like now as he's like talking into like he's just making this record as sort of like a audio diary, how he went to, you know, all the head clergymen and stuff, and they denied him. So he and his fellow priests are going to work on this book and do that. Problem is, though, unless he also found out to do time travel, the date on that second record is January 24th, 1923. So that's 10 months before the first one played. And I'm like, dumb mistake. I don't know if there's supposed to be a significance with those dates, but I thought that was kind of weird. The other thing, and this is just a dumb thing that I know, is for a building that's being torn down in a month, there are a lot of tenants in there who don't seem to be moving, which, you know, good for them. Again, it's a great place. But this is a big spoiler that goes into the beginning and the end of the film. So again, spoiler, 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 but it didn't make much sense to me. So in the beginning of the film, there is a girl who we figure out is possessed. Her name is Jessica. And this, again, is a spoiler, just to let you know. At the end, we see her get possessed. Now, this is the problem that I had. She gets possessed at the end of the film. That means that she drove while she was possessed to get her cousin, pick up her cousin in her car, and then drove to a cabin in the woods. Again, is this like a, oh my God, I'm never going to see this film, this is so dumb? No, but it's like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any
Michael
sense.
Myers drove in the first Halloween movie.
Well, he did, and people have been bitching about that for the entire time. But it's like this is one of those things like you have no control, like you're completely done. I also thought it was pretty cool, and I don't know if there's any, this is just my own kind of look at this. With people who become possessed, they seem to like be throwing up this like clear liquid, and I feel like that's like the last bit of their soul leaving their body before it's just completely gone. That's my own interpretation. I don't know, but I noticed this with 2 of the characters this happened to, and it's like spot on. They're exactly the same. And then after that, it's all hell breaks loose. I say, see this movie, see it once, see it twice, see it in the theater. It makes a difference seeing it in the theater, honestly. See it with the crowd, because I know when I saw it, the crowd was fantastic. I mean, you know, to be that captive audience with everything going on. If you can, get a cheese grater, because they're hilarious. Evil Dead, honestly, I think one of the best franchises now with this 5th installment. And Lee Cronin, watch for him. Absolutely outstanding. Again, writing, direction, some of the best I've seen this year. Honestly, I think Evil Dead Rise, as far as a studio film, probably it definitely am in my top three. I actually don't even know if there's what the other two are, but definitely in my top three. And Alyssa Sutherland cemented herself as a horror queen. She's going to be doing that. I feel like she's going to be doing this character for quite a while at different conventions and all that stuff. She is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I mean, I could praise this movie a lot, but I definitely say go and see it.
And if you want to see the Evil Dead, when we post this video, which will be tonight, tomorrow, whenever, this weekend, good for a couple weeks, people. Reach out to Radio Horror page, send us a message. I have, as of the recording of this video, which is 11:30 on Thursday night, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Fandango codes left to give away if you want to see the Evil Dead Rise for free at any of your local chain theaters. Sorry, they don't seem to work with mom and pops, but any chain theaters, AMC, Regal, Showcase Cinema, wherever else they happen to be playing. I recommend AMC in Framingham or Showcase Cinema in Showcase Blackstone Valley in Millbury. Those people I've been in business with since 2009. So we have free Fandango codes to give away. Evil Dead posters are pretty much almost gone already. We gave away quite a few at a packed theater for this movie. I was kind of surprised. The theater was packed, which is great because Renfield was not so packed. But we had the that poster, which is a little bit more detailed than the Evil Dead remake poster, which just had like Maya standing in the road. It's got the mom and 2 of the 3 kids in the poster with her Harley. Someone compared her to Harley Quinn, asking her if she turned into a clown in this movie. I was like, I don't know. That's just, she's just smiling and it's a lot of white makeup. So I get the comparison, but go see the movie in a packed theater because a lot of people will be reacting to it. I'll be adding it to my collection of Evil Dead films. Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi have talked about doing an animated Evil Dead movie because I know Bruce Campbell does not want to probably get physically involved in the Evil Dead anymore. So we'll have to see if that happens because he had a lot of fun doing the video game. So go see Evil Dead Rise. Let's hope Sam continues picking great directors because Sam Raimi, by the way, does own the Evil Dead. He does not own the films, but he owns the Bruce Campbell character and the Evil Dead, Necronomicon, and the Deadites. So when he's producing these movies, he owns them. So he handpicked the director for the last one. He handpicked the director for this one. So people think that just because Bruce, Sam, and Rob aren't doing it, they're wrong. They're just behind the scenes more because they're older. So, and Sam is responsible for this movie being made. So, I mean, his Doctor Strange and Spider-Man cloud have allowed him to continue making Evil Dead stuff. So,
and I know this played at South by Southwest. It made all the news. It's someone like had a huge fit at the Q&A and all that stuff because they said it was not worth it or something. I don't even know.
Oh, yeah, I heard that too. That doesn't make any sense.
Because it's like I saw this at Panic Fest this past weekend for the second time. Awesome. Like the crowd went nuts. I know tons of people who saw it afterwards. It was a fantastic screening. So yeah, thank you Panic Fest for showing this because again, absolutely amazing.
And we will be playing the Evil Dead scores on the Radio Horror Show this weekend and the next week or so. I don't think those scores are available anymore. They were limited edition vinyl records from like Mondo and Waxworks. And I know there's an Evil Dead Rise score coming out on vinyl from I think Mondo, so that should be fantastic. But I own all of the soundtracks to all these movies. I highly recommend it. It took me a long time to get into the Evil Dead. I didn't watch it until I was 19 or 20 years old, but I'd seen Army of Darkness on TV a couple times, and then I was finally 20 years old and the Evil Dead was sitting right there on DVD. It had just come out from Anchor Bay, if anyone remembers good old Anchor Bay, and I bought it and watched Evil Dead 2, and then the third one I've been hooked ever since. So, and again, you can go find a copy of the Necronomicon at any local bookstore. This is the most hilarious thing in the world.
Well, they had one. They used to have one at Borders where if you
yeah, Borders as well.
You would actually like start talking, start speaking in the Latin and all that stuff. And again, I wish it's one of my biggest. I wish I could go back in time and get that. I miss Borders. I was talking about it recently. It's like If I know some of you people won't know what Quarters is. It was an amazing bookstore that had books and movies and magazines and Blu-rays, and it had stuff like that you just can't find that much anymore. So
I believe
bring
also
back
if you
this
want,
book. Yeah.
if you want to watch the original Evil Dead, I think it's Steelbook is on sale on Amazon right now for like $6.99. So go get that. Pretty good deal if you want the Steelbook for it. And check out the rest of the videos here on the Radio Horror YouTube channel with Cati the Blonde in front of here. We have another one coming up for Renfield, been delayed on that one, but we're still going to be reviewing it. And we'll be back later this summer for more sci-fi, fantasy, and horror movies like Insidious and other stuff. So thank you, everyone. And you'll be dead by dawn.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, that too.
Mm.
The button.